died by drowning, the lungs act like a sponge and soak up all the water into the body. In this case, the body sinks. If the body died after living a long and happy life and was requested to be thrown into the sea to forever live amongst the fishies, then it will float, especially if placed face down. The air in the lungs won't be able to escape. And most commonly, it will float upside down. This is how you'd probably see a dead body floating in movies and TV. The reason behind this is a little embarrassing, but let's spill the secret for science. Lifeless bodies tend to fill up with gas, especially near the, behind. So that part will float higher and cause the body to turn face down.
It ended like it started, like a circus. I am not surprised. I expected this. Shannan Moon, the sheriff and coroner of Truckee, California, has classified Kaylee Rodney's death as an accidental drowning, despite the fact that her cadaver didn't have water in her lungs, which is consistent with drowning, despite the fact that her lungs did not have the indentation of her ribs, which is consistent with drowning by inflating the lungs, pushing them up against the ribs. And number 3, the clenching of the hands indicates drowning. Now, let me tell you this here. Every medical doctor, every bona fide medical examiner knows that Shannan Moon's autopsy report is incomplete, fake, made up, and incompetent because she don't possess medical knowledge and the skills to perform a thorough autopsy. She didn't check for one drug that's very popular, which is fentanyl. And based on her own autopsy report, Kaylee Rodney did not have a lot of alcohol in her system, like her friends kept trumping it up. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let me back up and address something about AWP. Adventures, I don't even know, adventures, whatever they call itself. I wanted to say adventures with pleasure, but I don't think that's right. So I'm just, AWP. They have been compromised from the beginning. When they went into the water, before they went into the water, I don't know if they signed some type of non-disclosure, but I can tell you this here, they entered some type of agreement with Truckee law enforcement, highway patrol, or whatever you want to call them. Because this is why they're not speaking. Because if I went in that water and dived, I have a legal right to discuss and show any footage that I did down there. Now, the only way that they're not showing that footage is that they have an agreement. And a lot of time when I say an agreement is this, you either agree because you're scared or you have a written agreement that somehow you benefited from withholding this information. Now, that's just my take on that, because when they found her body, they indicated that, hey, this ain't no accident. See, that was their first conclusion. But I can tell you, without them revealing anything, I know for a fact she was murdered. I said she was dead before she went in the water. I said she was dead when Samantha claimed that she was talking to her. I don't believe Kaylee Rodney texted her mother and say she come on. That was Samantha. Okay? Now, this whole case is a cover-up because guess what? They claim that something happened, a mass exodus from the campground. And it's claimed that parents telling the kids don't get involved. If it was an accident, why would the parents be telling the kids not to get involved? So even the law enforcement admit that parents was telling kids not to get involved. So therefore, this couldn't be an accident. But because they want to cover up some raping, some murdering with some kids in that county, they want to protect their investment. Let me tell you something. They claim that she had a hoodie. no hoodie was found. Now you want us to believe she was fully dressed. Now, she wasn't fully dressed. See, if she was fully dressed, it wouldn't be no problem showing the footage that AWP have. But, like I say, something else going on there. I'm not going to bash them. I'm just telling you, there's something going on there. And when people trying to stay on the good foot of law enforcement, they compromise. They just no good. Because law enforcement needs you, so you don't have to be trying to stay in good standing. They need you. And would you not be doing a service when you say this is what we saw, this is the condition of the body? And a lot of times, man, they could have been threatened. Either way, they compromise. You're either vigilant or you're not. Now check this out. The way they approached it from the beginning, it's no surprise how it ended. Everybody know that she was in the back of that trunk with a seatbelt pulled down to hold her down. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been sticking out the trunk like that. In order for that seatbelt, that strap to be like that, you have to pull it and then shut the door. All this is signs that it's not an accident. And when you look at the bogus autopsy report, it don't go into detail on the position of her body in the back of the car. Now, Shannan Moon, the sheriff, in a corner. There's a conflict. It's no different if I'm in one of their jails in Truckee, California, and the laws beat me up, and I die later on. She can say I died of fentanyl. She can say I had cocaine in my system. So don't nobody in these big cities that's medical doctors, and don't nobody in the big cities like me and other people accept that bullshit. It's plain and simple. You holding those two positions is just like a trial judge holding an appealing position. You go to trial with this judge, and the judge say, okay, we're going to the appeals court. Let me sit on the bench. We already know the outcome of that. That's what y'all got. Y'all have a well-oiled criminal organization going on in Truckee, California. And y'all stealing people property too. Now check this out. You go on YouTube. I can't remember her name, but it's a doctor. Want to remember her. I think, well, I do remember she called herself like Dr. Latina. Man, I don't know her name, but I kind of ran across her today, listened to her, and I agree with her. That just goes to show you it's people in the medical community know that that's BS. Now, you would think that they would check for fentanyl, a popular drug that's been killing people. They didn't because they already know what happened, people. They knew where that body was. This is why they overlooked it, because they wanted to get it out without people knowing it and tamper with it. Now, they claim this is the narrative. When they got out the water, they didn't see no visible tattoos. They trying to make you think she was clothed. Should we trust law enforcement if they didn't handle it the correct way from the beginning, but we supposed to accept your conclusion? Hey, man, I wasn't born yesterday. Y'all never gave the law enforcement of Truckee, California never gave regular updates. It is, look, just like in the Debbie Collar case. They'll show you she went into the store and bought this, a red bag, she bought this, she got in her car. Y'all didn't show none of this. You didn't show, here go a video of Kayla Rodney at the store with so-and-so and so-and-so. Y'all didn't do none of this. See, everything y'all done was shh, shh. So, and you want the world to accept that bullshit autopsy report? Shannan Moon, you can stick that autopsy report up your motherfucking ass. You own some bullshit. And then, I got to thinking. I said, what type of man do this woman got? And then I kind of did some research, and I run into you. You don't have a man. You got a woman. So it started coming. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I just don't want no part of that. But I'm just telling you, when I look at this woman who claimed I'm the only person had this position of sheriff. Look, you in a hit town and y'all on some perverted type concepts, okay? And I also did some research that when one police chief came there, he noticed that community promoted drugs and alcohol among the teenagers. Man, I can't remember his name. Where's his name at? Yeah, but he said when he came, he saw that there. And he said he was shocked. So now I got the mindset of that whole Truckee, California thing there. You don't care about the teenagers using drugs. You actually encourage drugs and alcohol. But let me back up. You know how everybody know that Kayla Rodney was murdered? Let me show you something. You know that Forrest video y'all come out with? Y'all already knew where she was at based on that. Y'all know y'all got cameras up there to watch fire, so come on with it, man. So you already knew. This is why y'all told AWP, don't look over there. But y'all trying to pretend like it was in like 30 or 40 feet of water y'all couldn't see. I guarantee you, if somebody go out there and put a prop car in the water, they'll see it. They'll dive in the water, go down, and they'll see it. So that too was a lie. See, the whole way that y'all handled this case indicated a cover-up. Y'all already knew where the girl body was, okay? Now, y'all somehow got Lindsay, Kaylee's mama, to go along. I know y'all scanned her, but she's still at fault because she should be strong enough. You gonna let these folks tell you to cremate your daughter just like that real quick. Man, come on. You was crying for your daughter. Now when you found, you don't want to know what's going on. But let me just go on and show you what a lot of people miss. And I've been saving this. Remember, Kate Kumo, Morris Larson, all these people, they came to the party. Kylie Rodney wasn't going to attend that party. Somebody convinced her to go to the party. She was supposed to be the designated driver. For who? Because all her friends, Morris Larson, Kate Kumo, they left. Remember, they left. So why would Kaylee remain at the party? Remember, she supposed to have been the designated driver. Since they gone, she should have left. But Samantha kept her there. Remember, she wasn't going to drive Sammy home. Later in the party, she asked for a ride, remember? And then she said, well, later on, I realized she was drunk. So if she was the designated driver and all her friends went home, why the fuck is she still at the party? Sammy kept her at the party. This is why Samantha said when she got there, she immediately went to her. The job was to keep her at the party. Now, Kaylee was wearing a diaphragm that you insert in your vagina for menstruation, but she was also wearing a contraception to prevent her from getting pregnant, meaning she was planning on having sex that night. Now, here's my theory. Like I said, at some point when she put that in, but to be effective, it's got to be in your body, I believe, about 6 hours to be effective. So prior to going to the party, if she wasn't really going to go to the party, whoever that girl she say she was hanging with, I guess that was Kate Kumo, saying she was with her. The thing was this here. They was all planning on, I think, selling their body for drugs, giving up sex for drugs. This is what I think was going to happen. They got to doing a little drugs. And I believe they handed Kaylee over to some people to have their way. The autopsy report of Shannan Moon trying to make it think that her vagina was normal. I don't believe that. You notice she didn't say nothing about a rectum. Like I said, I think she was sodomized, and I also think she was just vaginally raped. So the fact that you never mention this, or you just, oh, the vagina seemed normal, I don't believe that. See, you creating this narrative to where you want something to make sense where it don't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So you trying to make people believe that she drove into the water. Well, she drove into the water. She drowned in the water. There would be water in the lungs. So we know that's a lie. So you can take that report, like I said, and stick it up your motherfucking ass. I don't respect you. I don't respect problems. I don't respect none of you trucky motherfuckers. None of you some bunch of fucking idiots to sit up there and keep your mouth closed because you want a job. Expose them, get some money, and get the hell up out of there. And for Sammy to go to dancing and doing it, I wanted to put hands on her. You are so brazen. You just murdered your friend, and you like, you cold. You just like these goons in the city. You cold. The bottom line is this, man. The world know it was a murder. You, Shannan Moon, is not the authority to determine. I charge you with conspiring after the fact to protect murderers and rapists and drug dealers. See, y'all want to cover up that you got grown men sleeping with them teenagers and they selling their body for drugs. I know what time it is. See, you trying to wean this story with the fire cam. Oh, that's her driving in the water. You don't know if that's her driving in the water. She was dead already. Wow. I said this from the beginning. When Samantha said she called saying, hey, Samantha knew she was dead because Samantha already knew what she had done. This is why the police, the FBI, don't say nothing about we confirmed the call or we couldn't confirm the alleged call at 12:36 because they already know what time it is. And by the way, people, the FBI, Homeland Security, the Highway Patrol, ask yourself, people, how did they get involved? If you don't think the FBI will cover up and lie and go along, you need to read some history on the FBI and the CIA. The CIA is an illegal organization in the United States right today. That's my take on it. That's a bogus autopsy report. Inconsistent with facts. It's just inconsistent. It's just like the Bob Saget's autopsy report. He slipped and hit his head on something. Yet, y'all don't want to show the videos of Bob Saget coming into the hotel. Why? No different than Sheriff Moon, Prosser County, Truckee, California, don't want to show the video of who Kaylee Rodney was with early that day at the store. Why? Because it's all connected. You conceal information and you create a narrative. Well, it don't work that way. We ain't from Truckee. We not inbreds. We not drug heads. And so we ain't got to live among you. We can speak our mind. And if I was living among you, I'd clean house down there. I'll get some folks together, we'll clean house down there. We're going to start with that corrupt sheriff too. We will clean house. We will run you out of there. We will have you prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Y'all have a good day, Truckee, California. You bunch of crazies.